you've been there so many times, it's easy to take it for granted. You stop appreciating what you've got right on your doorstep. But it's a pretty special place we've got down there. Even if you're not a climber, it's just a nice place to be. You get some cracking sunsets. You'll quite often see dolphins. I've even saw the northern lights from there as well. It's a series of sandstone cliffs and boulders running along the coast for about 500 or 600 metres. The rock quality is not always the best, but there are some really good routes down there, and the boulder problems are excellent. I got into climbing 8 years ago. It was just really a follow-on from being out in the mountains all the time and row bagging. I was really enjoying the scrambling routes that I was coming across, and it just felt kind of like a natural progression to get onto more steeper technical rock. And I think years of working in the building trade and climbing up the outside of scaffolding probably set me up pretty well for it. It was a pretty good scene for a start. It was kind of through the local mountaineering club. A lot of people climbing, and made quite a few new friends, and I was fortunate that one of the harder climbers at the time, he kind of took me under his wing and got me into lead climbing straight away.
When Shane first came along, he seemed really keen, really wanted to learn. Really picked it up quite well. One of the first VS's he did was Left, a climb called Left down at Cummingston. And he climbed the bottom bit fine, had a couple of bits of gear in, just about to go through the crux, and all his gear popped out. So instead of just coming back down, trying again, he just carried on through it. Obviously kept ahead and just kept going.
I got obsessed pretty quick, but it was great just being able to get stuck into something like that, and you can really feel the progress as you're working your way up through the grades. I did go through a spell where I just kind of lost the buzz for it a wee bit. I sort of hit that plateau where I didn't really feel like I was getting any better, and it just got a wee bit frustrated. I took a step back, got into mountain biking, although I ended up hurting myself quite a lot. I think I'm probably a better climber than I am a biker. Yeah, around about the same time as one of the lockdowns is when my passion for climbing got reignited, so it was pretty frustrating that we couldn't get out and about. But I realised that there was loads of rock down at Cummingston that I'd never touched before, because I'd always just written these routes off as being too hard. The general goal was just to climb harder than I had done in the past, just push myself a bit more. I started working some of the routes down there on a self-belay setup, and then eventually got a few of the E4s led, and I started thinking to myself that my first E5 wasn't out of the question for this season. The prow, yeah, it's kind of hard to ignore. It's one of the more striking features at Cummingston. It's sort of this big overhang at the end of one of the stacks. The guidebook does have a sort of funny line. I don't think it's meant to be funny, but it says the landing is unthinkable. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like you definitely wouldn't want to land on that. It's not the kind of route I would normally think about having a go on. It's got really bad gear on it. I normally climb with a huge rack of gear and try and place as much of it as I can. So yeah, this is a change in style. Looking into it, it seems a lot of people that have climbed this route do treat it as a solo. Obviously with the gear being that bad, it does almost seem a bit pointless wasting energy and time placing the gear that is not actually going to hold a fall.
Gear on it's pretty shit, and the idea of solo, it's not for me. It's fucking no way I'd be trying that. I'd be too worried about consequences, how what would happen if I had gear, if it popped or foothold was wrong, hand slipped. I haven't got that confidence. I do honestly wish I had the balls to solo something like that, but yeah, I don't.
Soloing's not something I do a lot of at all, especially not a route this hard. It's something, yeah, I think you have to be in a pretty specific frame of mind for it. It's not something I can just switch on. I think on any route that you're soloing, especially when it's hard, there's going to be that point of no return. So this route has definitely got that. I think as soon as I start doing that heel hook moves, there's just no way I'm going to be able to reverse those. So yeah, I mean it's full commitment, you know, it's all or nothing. I think if I get a couple of moves up and I don't feel sort of 99.7% sure that I can finish the route, then I'll just come down again. You know, I don't think you can do stuff like this half-hearted. When I'm standing underneath the route on the day, it's just a case of trying to shut everything else out of my head, I think, apart from maybe going over the moves a few times. But well, I might even do the old Dave McLeod trick and climb my top off. I'm pretty sure he gets another 10% performance out of himself by doing that. But I think just concentrate on breathing, keep myself calm, and then at some point hopefully I'll convince myself just to give it a go.
Everybody. Well done, Shane.
Yeah, it just feels so good being psyched and fired up for climbing again. Feels like it's been a while, and I've sort of fell back in love with Cummingston as well, you know, and just enjoying spending time down there again. I think we're pretty lucky to have this as our local crag.